Hi there, I'm Dean Heskin, President and CEO of Swiss American Trading Corporation, coming to you today in response to a lot of questions we've been getting recently about this topic of BRICS and what BRICS is. There's been a lot of changes that have been taking place and are in the works in the United States economy and the global economy. And so what we figured we'd do today is bring on one of our most tenured account executives, Chris Agelastos, and have him to kind of explain a little bit more about what actually BRICS is, what it means to you and I, and what we might possibly expect to see over the course of the next few weeks or few months here. So, Chris, how are you today?
Great, thank you.
Thanks for coming on, and appreciate you taking the time to kind of just real quickly get into a little bit of an explanation of what it is that we have here with BRICS. And we've been hearing a lot about BRICS, as I mentioned a moment ago. Can you explain a little bit more for us what BRICS is or what and who they are, what it means to us?
Yeah, very simply, what started out as actually BRIC in the early 2000s was some countries that got together, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And kind of like a union or anything else, they wanted to get together, form a group that would give them, more influence in the world, economically, primarily. And then around 2010, they brought in South Africa as well. And so that's how we get the term BRICS. It really doesn't mean anything on its own other than an acronym for those nations that decided to band together because they have similar interests and would like to have a little bit more influence on the world.
Got it. Very good. Well, in a recent article, it stated that BRICS is planning on officially abandoning the US dollar, which I thought to be a pretty strong statement, actually. What many people may not be aware of is that for decades, the US dollar has been used for the majority of international trade settlements, which created tremendous strength in the US dollar as it caused an automatic demand for it. With this change BRICS is talking about, what possible problems do you think this could cause for the US dollar or perhaps the US economy?
Yeah, well, like anything with supply and demand, right? If you have strong demand for your product, it's considered valuable, and the dollar has had that. We've had actually a good run for a long time, and maybe if it was just Brazil, right, saying we're not going to use the dollar for trade anymore, is that really going to have an enormous impact on the dollar? Probably not. But again, one of the reasons for forming this group was to amass more power and influence. And when you look at the population on our planet, over 40% of the population now belongs to this BRICS group. So if almost half of the world population is no longer trading in dollars, obviously that can impact demand quite a bit, and in turn weaken the value of the dollar.
Makes perfect sense. In fact, like related to BRICS, abandoning the dollar was also just announced, and I should add, like cheerfully supported by Putin, that BRICS was pleased to be adding Middle Eastern oil-producing powerhouse nations into their mix. Do you see any potential problems or fallout from when this happens?
Yeah, so even more so, right? I mean, it's one thing if it's done, the dollar is ditched in all this other international trade, but now when you consider that oil has been traded and required, basically countries have been required to use the dollar in their reserves to pay for oil transactions. And if these other nations now that are joining, for example, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, major oil producers. So they're now going to jump on board and, no longer require the dollar to be used for these transactions. It's just another blow that's going to affect the value of our currency.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, for the last several months, as everyone's aware, I mean, we've all kind of had a watchful eye on all the financial markets. We're hearing a lot about commercial properties getting ready to burst values there. Unfortunately, but hopefully not the residential market, the same thing there, dealing with price inflation, interest rates moving. I mean, all these things, but that's why I think we've been getting so many questions from people about BRICS and the impact or the ramifications that might bring, just given the fact that it's kind of seemingly kind of just been brewing off in the background a little bit. And I think it's one of those things that, in the 30 plus years that I've been in this industry, seems to be one of the most legitimate threats to the US dollar that I have seen. And this is why, Chris, and you being with the firm now for nearly 15 years, Swiss America, we advocate being diversified with your investments, being diversified with your portfolio for this very reason. Who knows what in the world's going to happen, when it's going to happen, but a properly diversified portfolio, having maybe some land, some tangibles, some equities, things, not putting all your eggs in the proverbial one basket, if you will. These are the reasons why, when you start looking at what we have with BRICS. So, I appreciate you coming on today. In fact, what I'd like to offer for anybody tuning into this podcast, we have a special offer right now on the Walking Liberty $50. If you call our toll-free number at 1-800-289-2646, you can ask a representative about it, or you can go to our website at www.swissamerica.com. Chris, will you tell them a little bit about the Walking Liberty offer, what price point? It's an introductory offer, but let them know what it is that we're referring to here.
Yeah, so essentially these are coins that we're selling below our normal buyback, and it's just an opportunity for people maybe who have been thinking about getting into the market. They don't know who to trust, or they're totally new to this, and we figured this is a great way to give them sort of a no-risk offer. You get to buy something that you're in profits on immediately, and just go through the process. I think once somebody walks through the process, receives their product, they have a better understanding of it, and then maybe getting a little bit further into it down the road is just that much easier.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for being here today, Chris. I appreciate all the information. For those of you tuning in, I want to keep it short and sweet, but hopefully give you enough meat to keep your appetite satisfied. So thanks for tuning in. Look forward to next time when we can maybe bring some different information or some different insights to the market or what's going on out there. We look forward to you tuning in again, and have a great day.